Maybe you can feel the show. Oh na na na, we could do it all night long. We could do it all night long. We could do it all night.
Hi, I'm Eniola and welcome to CRT Africa. Now, let's talk about what's really been trending on campus this week. At Lagos State University, there's a bit of good news. A new 1,500 bed space hostel project has kicked off, giving students hope that the accommodation struggle might finally ease. And from there, we move to University of Cross River State, where what was meant to be a peaceful protest escalated into chaos with report of vandalism, police intervention, and report of students getting injured in the process. But that's not all, cause for our next segment, we are bringing in a special guest. Guess who? So sit back, relax, grab your popcorn because this week's episode of CRT Africa is packed with real stories you do not want to miss. Hi everyone and welcome to CRT Africa, your home for everything campus and student news. My name is Eniola, your beautiful host, and with me I have three amazing guests. We'll be starting with you. Please introduce yourself.
I am Orolua, an alumni of Olabisi Onabanjo University.
Clock it.
Thank you.
What about you?
My name is Henry and I'm a student of University of Lagos. I'm a content creator and an interviewer. So yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Henry.
Yeah.
What about you?
Hi, my name is Kelly. I'm a student of University of Lagos. Well, I'm also an entrepreneur by the side because I have to balance school and also work related.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah.
And we'll be starting with our first story. That's at Lagos State University, LASU, where they are building a 1,500 bed space hostel project. And I mean, for some students, this is a big deal because we all know how hard it is to secure bed space on campus.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question. I'll be starting with you, Orolua. Do you think this is a big step in the right direction, and do you think it's going to have the right impact?
Yes, definitely. It's a big step in the right direction. Let me just give you a little bit story of accommodation back when I was in school.
Yeah.
My school does not have enough hostels. In fact, the hostels they have are like private hostels.
Okay.
So we stayed off campus mostly. Finding accommodation was hard. Finding security in your accommodation was even harder. I'd been robbed in my hostel twice.
Are you serious?
Yes. One was on the road, one was inside my hostel.
Is
So,
the hostel close to school?
It was in the same community as the school.
Oh my goodness.
So you can imagine if we were all on campus, the school would definitely provide enough security for us. So
Yeah.
it is definitely a good direction, and I applaud Lagos State University for that.
Clock it. And to you, Eri, what do you think about this?
Well, I feel like it's actually well duly deserved because it's something that should have been done a while. Because when you're looking at the economy right now, it's quite crazy. A lot of exorbitant prices that the agents are putting on prices of schools, of hostels outside campus. So I feel like this project is actually going to benefit the student in a very long while, and they're really going to enjoy it. So I just feel like it's quite nice.
Yeah, and my question to you is, do you think that this new hostel project is actually going to get to the people who actually need them? Because you've seen cases where there are hostels, but the students that need it, they don't get the best spaces. It's people that don't need it that get the best spaces, and then they go ahead to sell the best space to people that actually need it. So what do you think?
Well, to me, there's a system for everything. I think there should be a proper system for scrutinizing and checking students' data that actually need the hostel. Because if you look at it, well, so many students, they stay far away. Well, and cost of transportation, subsidy of fuel has not even been induced, right? So a lot of burdens on students because if you look at it, most of these students, they don't stay in Lagos at all. So transporting themselves from school back forth is really a stress. Because when you have classes in the afternoon and you look at transportation, that's really worse. Look at the timing. Working class are going to close around 4. Classes traffic. So I feel this infrastructure will put a little cushion on the student.
I feel like the best thing they could do right now is even the people that don't need it, they'll literally lie to the school that they actually do need it. I feel like the best thing is just for them to like I would maybe probably do a proper scrutiny, a proper background scrutiny, check where they're actually staying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you know, find if they give a wrong address, go there, find out if they're actually staying there.
That's
and
a
if they're
lot.
actually- Exactly.
It's
So,
a public school.
Yes, like
That's
should
a
it
lot.
be based on where I'm staying
mhm.
that would determine if I deserve to stay in the hostel?
So I feel like most
Yeah.
of us here are traumatized by maybe UNILAG, because UNILAG has a system.
Yes.
UNILAG has
Yeah.
a very funny system that they give bed spaces to most of the time people that actually do not need them, and these people go ahead and sell the bed spaces for ridiculous prices.
Yeah, sure.
So now people that need these bed spaces, they will now be coming from places like Ikorodu or
Yeah.
Ogun State
Trying to
or Ogun State to come to school. Meanwhile, people that don't need the bed spaces have them.
Well, that's when Harry said we want to conduct a background check. That's why we have NIN. At least your home address is actually there. Then they look at the distance. It's relatively close to the school or far. We also have these biodata students have, whereby personal information is there.
Yeah.
Because I feel that NIN should be stressful. Instead of students carrying NIN up and down, they could actually print a student biodata that has their address and everything.
I understand. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So, anyway, student of UNILAG here.
Yeah, I
You
have.
stay on campus.
No, off campus.
You stay off campus.
Yeah.
So you said Hostel did not give you, school did not give you accommodation, and then you now decided to stay off
No,
campus.
I just didn't like staying with, because you know, like it's quite funny. They could literally say a 4-man room, and you literally know the stuff about
Yeah.
squatting
So
and
it's a
everything.
formal room, but not a formal
Yeah,
room
so I
because
was
of
just
the
not comfortable.
squatters.
Yeah, that was just
Yeah, I
my
get-
personal experience.
But do you ballot when you know that you're not going to get, you don't need the best
No,
spaces?
because number one, the major reason is because it's visually the person that has the fastest network. I can't imagine sitting around 7 a.m. and start. So it was just stress for me. I tried paying someone to tell me to do it, but at the end of the day, I didn't get the best space, so I just.
So wait, hold on. That's one of the issues we are having. So you actually ballot when you don't need the best space.
No, like
yeah?
no, I did it for a friend. For a friend.
Nah, I do not believe you.
Yeah.
So from this, we are going to be moving to a very serious conversation that happened at University of Cross River State. Some days ago, some students were sent on an official assignment, and on their way back to the school, they were involved in a very serious accident. These students were rushed to 4 different hospitals, but were rejected. In the process of all of this, they died. The students, in response to this, the students staged a protest, and the protest turned into something very chaotic, because there were reports of vandalization of properties, they destroyed the hospital signage, and they were also throwing bottles and stone. And to end all of this, the police intervened by throwing tear gas at the students, and the students got injured in the process of trying to escape. Let's take a look at the video.
Who be like, Bobo?
Apology, you don't have a big screen, so we are going to play the video. You have seen the video, you just want to get like
Reactions.
to you watching the video.
You've seen the protest here, you've seen this police throwing tear gas at the students.
Yeah.
Question 1, have you ever been part of people that staged a protest? Have you ever staged a protest? And question 2 is that, what do you think about this protest? I mean, the students started the protest to demand justice for their classmates, their friends that died. But look at what it turned out. So,
Well, it's a crazy country we live in, but I've never been in a protest before, so I can't drop my personal opinion. But based on the video I just watched, I feel like we're in a normal situation. It's the right of the civilians to actually demand for things through a peaceful protest. They're just trying to fight and demand justice for the neglecting of their friend that got killed and stuff like that. So I feel like this should have been careful and cautionary measures to like curb. Okay, even if the protest was not like allowed because it was in an hospital, you understand? Even if they don't want to disturb the other patient, it should be a peaceful way to like control and like control of them instead of throwing tear gas. It's quite alarming and quite crazy in this country right now.
So if I'm understanding what you are saying that the students staging a protest is okay because they were demanding justice for their friends, but the way the police like tried to disperse the crowd was
it was very, very, very unprofessional and very, very wrong. Should have been a way more calmer way to like calm people down. We are civilians, for God's sake. We live in a country, we are law abiding. So I don't think they did anything bad. Even if they're vandalizing, they should have been ways to like, okay, all right, if this is the ringleader of the protest, all the ringleader.
But did you see the number of students in that video? What's your thought?
I always feel there's always a better way to disperse crowd. We've seen other countries, especially the more developed countries, they're always using water. Why is water not the first thing we are using? Why are we throwing tear gas? You know, while the students are running away from the tear gas and everything, a lot of people would actually get more injured.
They actually got injured.
Exactly, and from there, it could actually increase the number of students
but
that actually
if you said water, well, we don't have water enough to quench buildings down fire. So how would they have water for crowd, especially the police?
Like, once the protest is getting, once you feel like the protest is getting like aggravated, students are angry, people are beginning to vandalize things. In fact, in the first place, you shouldn't even get to that place. Because once you are trying to organize like a peaceful protest, the police should actually accompany these students. They're like, okay, it is my right to protest when I feel like something has been done wrong. Why in the first place would the hospital neglect or reject people?
If you look at it from the student side, they came with anger, they were enraged as a result of maybe their colleagues they both knew from school are dead.
The
and
faculty president died.
So they are coming with that rage. Don't expect them to be law abiding or anything. Because if you look at the hospital now, hospital is meant for like first aid and also for emergency accident. We all say that the youths are the future. Well, we can't let the future be bleeding outside the gates and they don't have any means of accepting them or have beds put in check for them. Then why do we have so-called hospitals?
See, you said something that they were enraged, they were angry. It's okay to be angry. But when you are angry to a point whereby you are no longer law abiding, you are no different from a criminal. The difference between a peaceful protest and a riot is the fact that your anger is in check in a peaceful protest. A riot, that's when you start breaking things, start vandalizing. And that, once you start breaking things, start vandalizing, you're a criminal. You can be arrested and you can be treated like a criminal.
If you look at the masses of the students that came, they were actually much. So I just feel the police had only that option to at least dispatch them. But I just felt like the police actually used more and more force than, because the civilians were not harmed. So I feel that the police actually
got injured.
Have you been where tear gas is?
Actually, no.
Okay, I have actually. My boss was actually passing and my eyes, everybody, in fact, the driver had to park because all our eyes were peppery and everything. People were crying. We didn't even know maybe we should wash our eyes with water or what. That was how bad it is. So I don't think tear gas was the right thing to use. Because while you are trying to run, a bus can hit you before you know you're gone. So, but if you're using water, of which I would actually say the students, when you wanted to organize a peaceful protest and you know you wanted it to be peaceful, it is either you go with the so-called administration of the university if they are that caring, or you go to the police and you say, okay, we want to organize a peaceful protest. We would want the police to be there to help us control the crowd. You would not say a police now and you would want to like, okay, I want to break this. They would arrest you. You know that. And you are just coming there to lay your grievances.
We know that the hospital staff did them wrong and all of that. But what about the innocent individuals that were also in the hospital that came for help?
And then when like we vandalize things in the society, are we doing ourselves in favor or a disservice? Like, we already don't have enough of these things, and then we're now vandalizing it.
I understand.
Let's make sense of it. So I just feel like there would have been a better way.
I agree with you. So we have students of other schools, what they think about this situation. Let's hear what they have to say.
in Nigeria, we don't usually take human life as something that is very precious anymore, because you cannot tell me that a set of students are coming back from a school trip and then they have an accident on the road. And these are students are final year students which are about to leave the university. Now they are being caught up with a lot of health challenges whereby they are being injured from the accident. Some people have already died from this recent incident, and our health workers are still negligent about it. I would say that's really bad. Nigeria is really a really failing system, and it's a really bad thing for Nigeria to do that.
First of all, when I saw this, I wasn't surprised at all, because it's not the first time people were throwing tear gas or when they went to protest, or not the first time people lost their lives in this country because of poor healthcare services. And how confident am I in the emergency healthcare service in Nigeria? I'm not so confident, because I've seen situations where some people were rushed in and it was a serious emergency, but they were not attended to because they did not have money, or they asked them to go and buy a form and open a file, and in that period blood was wasting, time was going, and then they eventually lost their lives. So I'm not so confident in the Nigerian emergency healthcare services.
Yeah, Kelly, I saw the latest video and you heard what she said, that she's not confident in Nigerian emergency healthcare services. So what do you think? What's your thoughts? Are you confident in Nigeria as a whole?
Well,
emergency
I
healthcare
wouldn't
service?
put the word confident, but at least from the word emergency, it should be enough at least to stop the bleeding for the meantime until the patient regains consciousness or the family member comes to at least transfer the patient or the injured victim to another hospital.
So do we have that emergency in Nigeria?
That's why I said I don't want to put the word emergency, but at least it will be enough to cushion that.
That one that you just said, in Nigeria, do we have that?
No, we don't have that.
Yeah, what about you, Eri? In your school, do you guys have emergency healthcare service?
Yeah, actually, we do actually have emergency healthcare
Oh,
services.
seriously?
Yeah.
So if there's anyone injured, the school is swift enough to
Yeah, it depends. Number one, it depends on how far you are. Let's just be sincere. But to some extent, it's still better than most of the general hospitals there.
Yeah, I think we have like a couple of ambulances. There was this time we were writing, this time we were writing GST in JLI. A lot of students fainted as a result of heat, crowd, and will I say the emergency was very fast and quick.
Was very
So
fast.
many people were transported and enough ambulances were ready. And within no time, they came back to write their exam.
Seriously?
Yes, so emergency services top notch.
We'll give you this one.
That's nice.
We'll give you this one for the first time. Something that we can be proud of.
Bragging rights.
Bragging rights. What about you? In OU, how is emergency healthcare services when you were still a student?
I honestly cannot speak on it because I tried as much not to go there. Once that I went there, they just asked me, "What's wrong with you? You have headache, okay. Go to so room." They gave malaria medicine and vibes. And
For headache?
yes, no.
Malaria medicine?
Yeah. That time was even, I think it was close to COVID period then. So I was actually even suspecting maybe I had COVID. And didn't know. Because I was having headache, I was having nasal congestion, I could not smell, I could not taste. And that was what I explained.
That's symptoms of you sure say you don't get that.
Who knows? But they gave malaria medicine and as you can see, I'm alive.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
So when you look at all of these stories side by side, it is very obvious that students go through so much more than just academics. In some areas there is progress, and in some areas there are some serious challenges that need serious attention. So what do you think about all of the things we've discussed on this segment? Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to follow us across all social media platforms. And also, we have a very, very special guest coming for our next segment. Stay tuned to find out.
Baby, you can feel the show. Baby, you can feel the show. Oh, na, na, na. Feel the show. Baby, you can feel the show. Oh, na, na, na. We could do it all night long. We could do it all night long. Yeah, yeah. Baby, you can feel the show. Baby, you can feel the show. Oh, na, na, na.
Welcome back. Now, this segment is where things get a little interesting. Because if you've been following the show, you know we've had a lot to say about lecturers, from experience to complaints and to those situations that leave us wondering what exactly is going on here. But today, it's not just student opinion. Today, we've got a lecturer here with us. And that means one thing. It means no sided stories, no one-sided stories, no assumption, just real conversation. So, sir, we want you to introduce yourself, sir.
All right, I'm Sadiq Adeshokon.
Okay.
So a PhD student from University of Lagos.
Yeah.
And then as a PhD student, you go to class, you lecture student, you take student on behalf of your professors and all. And also, I focus on literature. So literature, yes. And sometimes I also dabble into other things, other fields like that.
So which means that you teach, sometimes teach University of Lagos students?
Definitely, which I've been doing for years, for like 4 or 5 years now that I've been doing that.
All right. So this is Oyoluwa, an alumni of OOU.
Okay.
And Henry, a student of University of Lagos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we have questions for you.
All right, no problem.
And our first question is, what do you enjoy most about teaching Nigerian students, and what frustrates you the most?
Oh, okay. I think in terms of what I enjoy most teaching Nigerian students, I would say that the 21st century learners, they are very creative. You know, they ask critical questions, they engage you. So it is not like before, whereby as a lecturer, you assume that you were the alpha and omega of the class. So, but these days we have students that can actually challenge you. You know, they ask questions and all that. So it's actually very interesting to me, because we have creative students these days. You know, they think critically, they are able to spot problems, provide solutions to problems and all. However, what frustrates me more is that despite the fact that we have students that are serious, there are actually some students who are not serious. You know, and they make it difficult for us to teach. You know, when you come to class and some students, they do their due diligence, they don't read ahead of class, and you only have to come to class and then you explain and explain. You understand now? So it's a very big problem for me personally, because in classroom flows when learners are already prepared for the class. It's not that you as a lecturer, you just get there and then you be the one talking. So they are just more of passive learners than active learners. So it is frustrating. It's frustrating.
So if I understand you, where you actually prefer the active learners, people that
yes,
you know, oh, we have this class, you've read on.
Exactly, because we are looking at tertiary institutions, not secondary school. So students need to come prepared.
Yeah.
So most times it's because students are not prepared. That's why lecturers feel like, no, we are the alpha and omega in this class, we control the class. But when students prepare, even you as a lecturer, you have to read before you come to your class, because you know that they are going to ask you questions.
Yes.
And you need to provide answers to those questions.
Yeah, about the passive learners,
Okay.
could it be the approach of lecturing is what is not making them interested or engaging?
Yeah, I think you are right. Even when we are talking about passive learners, we also need to look at the approach of the lecturer. Because if I come to class and I want to use the lecturing approach to teach, it means that I don't even need opinion from any student. So you're also right. So it is good that even when we're talking about passive learner, lecturers should also try to engage the students by asking them questions, you know, make sure that they are engaged during the classroom activities and all. So you're right. So it can be the method of teaching and all.
Okay, I just have a very brief question for you.
Okay.
Okay. We all know that there is a higher percentage of students failing every semester. So to you, do you feel like this is a result of the high standards of the school or the lecturer, or do you think it reflects the gap in the educational system of the university?
Okay, when we have the high percentage of students failing, I mean, those two things you mentioned, those two factors, they're actually involved. It can be the high standard, and it can also be the gaps in the teaching method as well. So in terms of the high standard, we don't think that because we want all the students to pass, that they should do well, and they will not lower the standard. You know, when they are rating universities, these are the things that they actually look at, the standard, you understand now. So sometimes the standard may be high. You know, for a school like UNILAG, like OAU, like, you know, every other, you know, university like that, they have standards that they have to maintain. And they will not think because they want to like lower the standard to meet up, you know, so that they will not say, they are too strict and all that. No, the standards are there already. So students are the one that they are supposed to know what to do to meet up with the standard. Then the lecturers should also be able to help them. However, in terms of teaching methods, we also need to look at that. You understand now? Because if you actually expect more from your student, then you also need to do more in terms of your teaching approaches. So you have to actually come up with methods that will make them learn easily. So when you have done fulfill all righteousness, if they now fail, they fail. Like the person I work with now. In fact, I mean, somebody can testify here. The person I work with. So there is a marking scheme for marking. There's a marking scheme, and there are things that she expects you to do, and things that she has even taught you in class. So when you don't meet up with those things, it may affect your score. And that's when you come and say, man, I failed your course. Okay, take the scheme of the marking scheme. Look at your own script. Tell me where I've marked you wrong there. So the standard will be there. But then for this person too, she makes sure that she makes use of slides in terms of presentations and teaching methods, so that she can fulfill all righteousness. So then we don't say that you did not teach us well and you gave us this thing. You understand that kind of thing. So both the teaching method and the standard, they are very, very important.
But what about situations where there is a particular lecturer that students don't ever pass his or her course, like they are always failing his course? Doesn't that mean that the lecturer, doesn't that mean that the educator, that lecturer, that person is failing as a lecturer, not being able to impact knowledge on your students? Because every time your students fail, every time they are always failing your course.
Well, I think in terms of failing a lecturer course consistently, there are things that we have to look at. I mean, the first thing I always look at is that, okay, check that course. When the results, comes out, how many students have A's in the course? How many students have B in this course? If that same student that is complaining that he fails this particular course almost every time, and then we can find about 10 or 15 students having A's and B's, then the problem may not be with the lecturer. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. If you're saying that, okay, students are all, I don't know, are you saying that almost all the students they are failing the course? Which I don't think is possible.
There are actually lecturers that derive joy in failing students.
What do you mean by derive joy in failing?
They come like this, they won, and they're telling you see this course, go and check your past students. Only 5 of them passed. Only 5 of them had C's. Yes. Go and check the amount of carryover students. Some lecturers, they boast in it, they brag about it, they derive joy in failing students.
So I think, if we look at it from that angle, students also have their own rights. And I said something about marking scheme and then your question paper. If you feel like you've done well and this person, mark you down, there's a way you can call for your paper.
But what if there are schools that they don't? I know UNILAG allow you call for your paper. But what about other schools that?
Are there schools that do not allow students to call for paper?
No, but I feel like in a way, if you call for your papers, it's like causing a war between you and the lecturer.
Yeah, I understand.
The lecturer, it is the lecturer's marking scheme and your paper, and then it's not you versus the lecturer. Does that put a target on you as a student?
Well, I think the problem is that many students do not know their right. I'll still stand there. So as a student, you have the right to take anybody up. If you feel like you're not being just, you can do that. But most times there's this fear in students, if I should do this, I may not graduate, I may not do this. And I will tell you for a fact that even lecturers too are even afraid to fail you unjustly. Because by the time you call for your paper and they look at it and they find out that, this person the lecturer is in trouble. And I don't think that any lecturer should derive joy in failing students. It does not make any sense to me at all. If they have their score, give them their score, let them go. So why do you have to? I understand what you're trying to say. Like, A is for God, B is for this thing, and then you can only have C in this course. So if we are trying to look at our educational system now, and we want a very balanced educational system, we have to remove those kind of lecturers from the system.
But do you agree that there are some lecturers like that?
Well,
you agree?
Maybe I will say I agree. Anyway.
But then, what I do is that we live in a country where we, like, when there is someone in the upper and then we are just here to challenge the person that is in the upper position. Go they hard.
And what's the essence of a students' union?
That's what I said. Yeah.
What's the essence of students' union?
I think UNILAG has employed
yes.
Now. So do
how
you think
effective is
that?
Yeah,
do you think it's actually
union these days?
This issue?
That's the problem. And I still mention it, that fear. Because even the president will be like, if I do anything, I may not even graduate in this school.
Yeah.
Some of the students' unions are even unpicked.
Yes. I think that's
So-
another problem,
Okay,
and that's why we need a student that that can represent the student. We need the president, student union president that can represent the student, the one that they pick themselves, or not the one that they impose.
Yeah.
They impose on them,
Student.
because there are channels to follow when you have an issue with any lecturer. There are channels to follow, and if you don't know, you continue to be abused, and there will be a problem. But I'm still assuring you that there are channels to follow, and if you follow the right channel, justice will prevail.
So basically, it's ignorance of their rights.
Their rights,
Okay.
ignorance of their rights,
And fear.
and fear. Yeah.
Fear. Let's put that fear.
Let's
Some
put that
people know
fear
their
fact.
rights,
They
but
know
that
their rights.
fear-
They're like,
Yes.
A lot of students actually find it hard to approach lecturers outside of the lecture room. So how
Okay.
can lecturers be more approachable, more accommodating?
well, as a male lecturer, I mean, even for male lecturers, when we're talking about approaching lecturers outside the classroom, there have to be, some boundaries. So I'm not saying that lecturers should not be friendly.
Outside the classroom, I'm not
Like
necessarily
for-
saying like
Even
a club
outside the
or
classroom.
a restaurant. Or
Yeah, no.
Like,
Okay, when I say outside the classroom,
still within the university premises. Okay, let me add still within the university
okay, yeah, I know,
premises.
still within the university, but then you can, in fact, you can even go to their offices. But then these days, a lot of things happen. Like a male lecturer having a student coming to meet him in his office to come and ask questions. The moment she comes out alone, and there are other students around, that girl, she just came out from this. So there will be assumptions, there will be all these things. So I believe that there should be a kind of a relationship between the lecturers and their students. However, it must be open relationship. Like, lecturers should be accessible, but then we still need to maintain boundaries. Do you understand that? We still need to maintain boundaries, and it's because of a lot of things, that have been happening in our society these days. So even when you have to be open to students and not, because if you are not careful, the same students you are open to, they may also be the one to bring you down. But then I believe that lecturers should be accessible. They should offer guidance. They should mentor students. In fact, there are some of my lecturers who mentored me that I reach out to. In fact, females that I reach out to. But when it comes to male lecturers and female students, there should be accessibility, but then nobody should be taken advantage of. So I believe that they should lower that guy. They should not be all these, you cannot see me, you cannot. No. It should not be like that. So you are their lecturers, and then you should be able to help them when they need you. But then, in terms of approach, it's not that I score 14 your this thing, no, sir. What should I do? That's another way, so I did not. It's it's an approach, but that kind of approach. Now, what would the lecturer do? And sometimes when too much familiarity breeds contempt. So when you are too accessible to students, take it for granted. It's not a lecturer. Go and meet him, just talk to him, buy baba food, and you understand that kind of a thing. So it's still a professional setting. Whatever it is that you want to do should be professional.
So we also asked other students if they have questions for lecturers.
Okay.
Let's hear what they have to say.
Right.
It would be, what changes would you like to see in students to improve students-lecturer relationship?
Okay. So
All right. So the question is, what changes would I like to see in students to improve the student-lecturer relationship? So I think for students, they have a lot to do. If they actually want to get close to their lecturers, if they want to get help and all that. And the number one factor is that students who are actually intelligent, they may not even be intelligent, diligent, they come to class, they ask questions in class, they make themselves sing. When such students come to lecturers, they will be happy to help. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So, but there are some students, they will not ask questions, they will not do anything in class. Even for that student, they will not even be able to approach lecturers. And for a fact, it's good for students and lecturers to have good relationship. There are some of you that will finish from here, that want to travel out, you need reference letter. And some will now be calling me, sir, please help us to talk to that, this thing, to help us write reference letter. What you should just walk into the office to say, now, I got admission here and I need the reference letter. But because the relationship is not there, then how do you build that relationship? Attend classes, ask questions. In fact, by asking questions, the person will get to know you. And from there, even when you come to that person and say, I need help, it will be, in fact, you are the one who asked that question in my class today. Okay, no problem. What do you want me to do? there will be a cordial relationship between both lecturers and students. So students need from their own part to try to make themselves known in class, not in the other way around, but in a good way. They ask questions, they contribute to discussions in class. So by doing this, the lecturers will start getting to, oh, I know this guy, I know this guy. And for me personally, that was how I was being known at the Faculty of Art there. I mean, in English department, and even up to now, I ask questions, reasonable questions. I challenge them, and sometimes I'll go to meet them, the officer, man, what you explained to us, I didn't get this, or I want to improve on my writing, how can I go about this? So that's way. So it depends on the student as well. So they need to do something from their own part.
This one is like a personal question to you. Did you always wanted to lecture?
Definitely. Definitely. I love it. I love it. Even when I have the opportunity to do other things, I just want to be in the academics. There's no money there anyway. There's no, if you are looking for money, you can't be an academic. So you can't even go into academics. You are looking for money. But there's this passion. And because when we are complaining that some lecturers are this and that, we also need good lecturers to come and change that narrative. When I say that, somebody, this is a very funny quote, say, if everybody hates teaching and they run away from teaching, teaching is not paid. Most of our children will be taught by idiots. If every good person runs away from teaching, that there's no money there, I cannot marry a teacher, so who should teach your own children? Idiots. You understand what I'm saying now? So it is a passion, and when you have passion for it, it will show when you teach. The way you break down things, you will not be sad going to class. You will always be happy that you're going to class. And that's why I say one of the things that frustrates me is that when students don't prepare. So when students don't prepare. I'm even working on something currently in changing the role of teaching. Most things that students are supposed to do, lecturers are the one doing it. I want to take you a particular topic. You are the one that's supposed to go home and read and prepare for the class. I will not be the one to go and read on your behalf. You will be coming to class. This one we just explain to us and we are good to go. So it is more about passion. When you have passion for something, you give it your all. And then you don't even look at the money. You look at the impact you can make. Sometimes I'm happy. I get to like that. I see those boys I taught in SS1, 2, 3. They're in 300 level, 400 level. Mr. Sadiq, we just laugh and it brings me joy. So it's more about passion. The money is also very important because your passion must be able to bring money for you. And that's why the 21st century lecturers now, we don't just sit and be lecturing. They also look for grants and other things. All right.
That's true. Well, I feel like that is a very, very good point. Thank you so much, sir. But do you feel like, okay, nowadays, let's be sincere, you said the students are diligent are actually the ones that bring lecturers joy. But do you think that there are a lot of students that don't even go to classes? After that, is just set to the lecturer. Do you think those kind of students, they don't attend classes, but they set to the lecturers and they get their marks, get everything. Do you think them getting a certificate, do you think it's affecting the educational system? Because those lecturers are the one endorsing that kind of art.
Yes, because you don't go to class. You have this mindset that once I see him and I give him this, and that's why these are the bad eggs that we are talking about in the academic system. Whereby you have to collect money to pass student. And not just imagine that somebody wants to become a medical doctor, and the person does not attend anything, failing and this thing. A lot of people will die later in the future. You start like that kind of a thing. So it is not really encouraging, for lecturers to actually embrace that, to encourage students to do that. You can just pay me off and it is happening in our educational system. You see people that you have not even, in fact, I think it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I was to invigilate one exam, undergraduate 400 level student. And the number of students I saw in that examination, I was surprised because I used to follow my professor to class. So maybe in the class, we will have at most 80 or 70 students. But during the exam, we had about 126 students. How come? Where are the remaining ones? Do you understand what I'm saying now? So it is not really encouraging. So students need, the dumb ones. I'm so sorry. I'm not supposed to use the dumb ones. The students who are having learning difficulties and all that, they can also improve. So they should not rely on sorting out. But then I believe that sorting out has become part of the culture, which is not something that we are supposed to normalize anyway.
You mentioned that when you were teaching, when you were lecturing the students, there were over 70 students in class. But when you
during exam, there were about
120 students. In Nigeria is a very difficult country at the moment. People are going through a lot, and we have students that
a country of particular concern.
So, and we have students that they are the ones sponsoring themselves. They have to work and then they have to come to school. So because of that, they might not be able to put their full attention into education. They have to also and then maybe just show up during
that's another topic entirely. You know, talking about working and schooling. And the truth is that both do not really go hand in hand. Attendance matters. If you don't meet up with attendance, you will not even write the exam. I think they do that in law. You understand now? So, but even those classes whereby attendance does not really matter, you know, except if that student is exceptional, very brilliant. That's when you can leave classes, you know, miss classes and still come to write exam and do well. Because sometimes there are learners that are auditory learners. They need to be in class, see how the lecturers are explaining before they can understand. But if somebody like that is working and cannot, so now what's now the essence of working? If at the end of the day you're still having carryovers, failing that same course because you want to pay school fee and then you. So I'm not saying that students cannot work and school, but you have to look at the nature of the job. It must not be a kind of job that will take you away from your studies. And they do work and study too, even on campus. But the money is not really that encouraging, right? All right.
So we have some videos that we want you to react to. Let's take a look at the video. So this happened at Federal University of Technology, Owerri. What happened was that the lecturer gave them a project and then the students brought the project. But he destroyed the project all because of, he said it was too exceptional, like too good for him to have done it. Then he destroyed the project that he spent serious amount on. What's your thought on this?
Okay, my thoughts on that is that, you know, if you have dealt with students a lot, there are a lot of things that are not opening, like you don't know now, but when you get into lecturing or this thing, you will understand. Students, they can be very, very funny. Do you know why that sometimes when you submit your long essays and lecturer will tell you that hey, this is not your work, even, you know, this period of AI and all that. And the reason sometimes is that beside lecturing students, we also know the capacities of our students personally. You know, like we know students that are exceptional, students that are still struggling and all. So why a student that is still struggling brings something near perfect to you, there will be these doubts in your mind like, this is not possible. Now it is now left to that student to convince you that this is actually my work, I did it myself, nobody else. Imagine that somebody submits chapter 1 to 5, very perfect work and all, and they come for defense. Ask the person, go to where your research questions are. The person is opening chapter 2. You understand what I'm trying to say? So sometimes it's not really, the lecturer may actually know these particular students, you know, personally. He knows his capacities and all. So for that kind of thing, you have to, but this is the era of social media. We have to just see the one-sided story, not the whole story. If you allow the lecturer to talk, and they tell you that I know this person, I know these students. So, but then I'm not saying that the way destroyed is okay, but the student needs to convince the lecturer, this is my work.
So can't the lecturer have asked the student to redo the project? I can't do it in school.
No, but the fact is that it does not even need to ask me to redo it. Last month or 2 months ago, I went to LASU, Lagos University of Education. I was part of their external examiner. The student did entrepreneurship, so they were presenting different things that they did, and some would just come. I designed this thing myself. No problem. Show us video. Let us see the process. As simple as that. That thing, he built that thing. Show us the video. Let us see the process when you were making it, and that would have solved it. So if the student cannot provide any video evidence and no, or pictures, even pictures can be deceiving. Show us how you're journeying this to this and how you're drawing the architecture or the architect or something. How you were drawing and all. Show us the video evidence. So that would have been better. So that way, you know, this person's original. It's because of a lot of students have lied about all these things, and that's why.
Sorry for cutting you short. Is it that lecturers feel like they cannot lecture the students towards near perfection?
No, I don't.
Because there are certain things you bring, and then the lecturer will be like,
"You didn't do this.
You didn't do this." Is it that you don't trust your
lecturer is looking at the personality? He's looking at the personality. The funniest is that if a brilliant student now comes with even something that he or she does not even have anything there and submit, because of that, like this person, you may just overlook it. So I don't even understand what I'm saying.
So how do we
Uh-huh.
determine like, okay, you're brilliant, you're brilliant,
Thank you,
you're brilliant,
because
you're brilliant.
in
Some people
my-
are quiet
Okay.
and very, very intellectual.
Yeah.
But some people are very outspoken,
Mhm.
but they're not near perfection.
Yeah, if you are quiet, then maybe you are an introvert. At least when I engage you one-on-one, from our conversation, I should be able to know. I just threw 1 or 2 questions about your project to you,
Okay.
and you answer me well, then I know that this is
You
your work.
did it. So we have another video. Let's take a look at
Okay.
the other video. So this video is from UPSA, University of Professional Studies, Accra. Now, you saw the way the lecturer was like slapping the students and in front of other students. What do you have to say about this, Henry?
Well, I feel like this is the thing we were still talking about, the negligence of the educational sector. A lecturer has no right to raise his hand to a student. A lecturer has no right to raise his hand to a student. No matter the reason, there are proper ways you can take it out. That's why we have a student board, we have disciplinary board, we have a lot of things we can do. So a lecturer has no right, no matter the situation to raise his hand to a student. Because there are a lot of cases where you can get arrested for molestation. You can get cases of you slapped her and she tells the police that you harassed her. So just to avoid that kind of situation, it's better for you to go through the proper channels rather than taking the laws into your hand.
Sir, what's your thought on this?
Yeah, I think I concur. As a lecturer, you don't have any right, to hit any student. And I mean, there are security personnel around. If you need the student to leave your class, you are not even the one. Once they leave my class and the student does not leave, just call anybody around to just come and take the student out. So you don't have any right to do that. It is unprofessional. No matter, I mean, someone say, I'm old, I'm like your father. No, it's not like that. This is 21st century. You don't just do that. There are rules and regulations, so you cannot just eat any student anyhow. But what about the situation if the student is a lecturer first?
I feel that's why we have disciplinary board. Same thing.
If the student eats the lecturer first, so what the lecturer do?
Same thing applies. The lecturer should follow the
protocol and embrace the eating like that and not do anything. Is that it too?
So definitely justice will be served.
Yeah, definitely.
You hit your lecturer, you probably get suspended.
Exactly. So nobody has. It's in fact the university environment does not even support anything like that. So if somebody should eat, you just go and report. Just go and report. That way you get justice.
Imagine you hit the student back, the student faints.
Exactly. Anything can happen from there.
What if there's a situation where the student eats the lecturer and then the lecturer went to report the incident? There's no CCTV everywhere, and then the students are supporting the students that, sir, nobody touched you. A situation like that, what's going to happen?
God will be the witness.
Pray you're not in a situation whereby God is your only witness.
This is the type of course that the lecturer is going to fail everybody.
But you know that in this 21st century, in fact, before people even come and say, don't fight, they first record. And before you know it, everything is on social media already. So there will always be evidence. In that regard, there will always be evidence.
Yeah, true. So, do you have any questions for the students?
Do I have any questions for them?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, let me just ask, how do you think that lecturers can relate more with students? How do you want to be treated by your lecturers?
Well, I feel the lecturer, as a lecturer, should be able to create an amiable environment where even without having to do too much, the student can actually, this lecturer is actually very fun. This is not lecturer, this is not. It doesn't have to be overly friendly. It should be like cordial relationship. When you come, it doesn't have to be all strict. You understand? So that's just basically what I feel as a student, that as a lecturer, I should just be able to do that.
I just feel like when it comes to lecturers and students relationship, life is not hard. Some lecturers act like life is hard.
Yeah.
So see, some lecturers, I'm sorry, I'm trying so much not to say they act like the students are the cause of their problem. And then that alone even makes it hard to want to learn. There are classes that I starved a lot because the lecturers were always angry. So there was no need for me to come to the class. I would just go ahead and read and just say, okay, if I collect C, I'm happy. So I feel like there's always this power tussle with lecturers wanting to feel like, oh, we are the head, we are the boss. Like, but it's supposed to be a symbiotic relationship whereby it's like, okay, I can come to you with, oh, this is what I found out, this is what and then you can come like, no, it's not like that, it's like this. And then we all have an educative conversation and we get to understand everything a lot better. So I just feel like life is not hard. Lecturers should calm down, please.
So what do you think about
I think we need to ensure that both lecturers and students, they have good relationship. We have to work together. We should see them not just as our students, but then I think we should see them more as our students than our children, because when you look at them as your children, you want to treat them like that, which is not really okay. So we are in a professional setting. We should teach each other with respect. So respect your students, they will respect you. If you know what you want to teach, you don't need to struggle too much with students. Teach them the right way that you're supposed to teach them. Open that doors for them. Let them come to you to ask questions, to feel free. Let them take you as their mentor. I mean, they are students, and some of them will still be the governors, they will still be the ministers, or they will still,
so the relationship does not end.
Exactly. So there are students that leave this school and say, there's this lecturer I will never forget in my life. So it depends on, that kind of relationship you have with that kind of student. So it should be cordial, with respect and all. And platonic as well.
Yes. At the end of the day, this conversation shows that student-lecturer relationship goes both ways. Students want to feel heard and supported, and lecturers want seriousness and commitment. But maybe the real question is, how can both sides meet in the middle? So we want to thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here too.
And thank you, Ore and Henry. And Kelly, thank you for coming also. Thank you. And if you want to be a guest here on CRT Africa, all you have to do is send us a DM on Instagram or TikTok, and we can't wait to have you. See you next week with more stories and more gist. Bye.
We could do it all night long. We could do it all night. Baby, you will feel the show. Baby, you will feel the show. We could do it.